watching him.
In relation to, so that 7-iron predominantly, but for the most part, we want to try to keep that in the middle of our stance. Talking ball flight, so we want that club to kind of sit in its natural position in the middle of our stance. So if we move that 7-iron up, predominantly, if we move that 7-iron up, it's going to alter that club face just a little bit. Now it's going to tip back. We're going to add loft to it a little bit. We want to try to keep natural. And vice versa, if we move that thing back, obviously in our stance, we're going to be coming down a little bit more. It's going to have that, even with the same club, that lower trajectory. Now for the most part, too, 7-iron, that 7-iron, 8-iron, 9-iron, we're going to try pitching wedge, try to keep it in the middle of your stance. Middle of your stance. 5, 4, 3-iron, just a little bit more towards the front of your foot. Just because on those irons, with the less loft in those clubs, we actually kind of want to actually hit those just a smidge where that club. So we don't want to really help it any, but we want to get it up there where we don't have to do much, where it's actually kind of coming up just a little bit. So we're adding that loft with that club already, because those things are obviously the lowest clubs in our bag. They're going to cut them out a little bit lower, but we got to get them in the air just a little bit. And those sand wedges, typically, for the most part, I keep most of those clubs, those lower clubs, right in the middle of the stance. So for me, most of the things, the only thing I will really move is the 4-iron, the 3-iron. Then again, we're going to lead into the woods. So now we're getting into the woods, those hybrids, 3-woods, drivers. We're going to try to want them more in the front of our stance. Because if we really can, we actually want to get up there and actually get that club kind of almost working its way up and around just a little bit. Because now today's technology, a lot of that stuff, a lot of the drivers out there are built now to get that ball with a little bit more boring flight, less spin. So the more we come down on that driver, the more that ball is going to spin in the air. We try to want to get rid of some of that spin so we got a little bit more carry distance with that driver now. Okay? So go ahead and get your spot. So driver in hand, we're going to try to work it off. Most of the time, the key area is just a good position to work off, just trying to keep it off the back of that front foot a little bit. So it's out in the front of our stance, just a smidge.